Of Creating Cultures That Outperform. I'm Frank Wander. I'm the CEO and founder of People Productive, and I'm here with my amazing co host, Terry Mays, a certified culture engineer. I hope you've been following this series. We've been doing an incredible series on how to motivate people without money. If you listened to the last episode, you learned that using money to motivate people has a lot of downsides. It's a big demotivator. Reward, tune into the episode. You can go find out the study from the Federal Reserve. You'll see it's true. And so, if you could build expertise in these 7 ways to motivate people without money, you're actually going to be able to make a difference. These are the human factors of leadership. You can lead better, you can actually build a better organization, and you can tap those large pools of untapped talent potential laying all across your company. So, this is episode 7. We're going to talk a little bit about esteem. How can you tap and open up more esteem for people in your organization? I think it's a great topic. And Tara, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I think this is a great topic. Like Frank said, we've been talking about ways to motivate people without money. Go back and listen to the whole series. It is really a good one where we share some great ways to motivate people. And then today, talking about esteem, I think the biggest thing that you can do to boost someone's esteem, self esteem, is to really let them know that you value the individual person that they are, that they make a difference. The work that they're doing makes a difference. How they do things make such a huge impact on the organization. I've had a manager before that has been great with this, and he would tell me specifically what I do that's different and how I bring value to the table and how I help in different situations. And it just boosts my esteem through the roof because I'm one of those people. I have to know that what I'm doing matters and that I'm adding value.
Oh,
And
you
when
always
I have
value.
a leader recognize that in me, and often it was things that I didn't think were that big a deal at all, but the leader would say, "Oh, yeah, this really does make a difference. It helps us. You have a way of calming situations and bringing the peace." And so that to me was always something that I never even considered as being a skill set or a valued trait. But it really is. And people need to know that. Whatever things are that people have different just personality traits that are making them a great asset to the team. Let them know. Say that to the person. You would be totally surprised of how people have devalued certain things about themselves because they didn't think it was a big deal. But for you to say that it is, it matters so, so very much.
Oh my God, it does. And Tara, I think you make such a great point. Many leaders may even notice something, but they don't go out of the way to tell the person. The fact that you're
Right.
great at calming down situations, or another great skill you have, building relationships across an enterprise, these are very important. And people have their own unique skills. And if you can point that out, that is a way to raise esteem. And keep in mind that everybody needs to be needed. And certainly when you go and ask somebody's opinion, right?
Right.
And you're a person who has influence, or maybe you're higher up in the organization, that's going to raise their level of esteem that you actually went to them. If you're looking for advice and guidance on something, not just an opinion,
Yes.
that's a little bit different. Maybe you need help with something. You're working on something important, you want some help. Hey, that's going to actually raise their level of self esteem because they're needed in different ways. People need to be needed, and they need to know they're valued and they count. So keep that in mind if you want to really motivate people by raising their level of esteem. They're going to want more of it. It's a drug.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is let people know that you trust them, that you have given them an assignment and you trust that they're going to do a great job. Frank is really good about this. You'll hear him throughout the show. He's encouraging me and telling me how much he knows that I'm going to do a great job with something. But that matters to people. When you know that the other person trusts you, that your leader trusts you, that your teammates trust you, you want to make sure that you do your very best. You don't want to let them down. So it's instinctively going to make you do your very best when people are depending on you and you know that they expect you to do well. We've done an episode on this before about people rising and falling to the level of your expectation. It is very true. So you can build people's esteem by just letting them know, hey, I trust you. You're going to do a good job with this. I'm not even worried about it because I know it's in your hands. Those words are powerful, and you would be surprised the impact that it will have on the output of the work and the quality of the work.
Yeah, and be an avid listener. Let's say you're in a meeting and one of the folks at the meeting, on your team, not on your team, whoever they are, they bring up something very important. Maybe they have a great insight. I think it's so important to point it out and say, "Hey, that is a great insight. So
Yes.
so thank you for sharing that. I really value that. That is great." And, letting them know that they're making a difference just by pointing those things out, because that if they bring up a great insight and everybody moves forward a little bit because of it, bring it up. They deserve that little bit of esteem for having that insight into what's happening. And these are simple things. They don't cost money.
Absolutely. It seems like these things that we're talking about are so meaningless,
Yeah,
but they are absolutely meaningful. I can't express enough how important it is to start to understand how people tick, understand the person that you're dealing with, and not just treat people with blanket statements
mhm.
and one person is the same as the next. They're really not.
They're not.
You've got to really hone in as a
Oh, you
leader on the people that you have working with you and how you can best support them. And the things that we're sharing here today, we're giving all of this valuable information for free. So, companies,
I mean,
consulting companies, engagement companies with all of these fancy tools and resources charge a lot of money for what we are sharing with you. So I really do hope that you listen to the shows and you really do grab a hold of what we're saying, because just give it a try. Just try it out. And I would absolutely love to hear your feedback. I
oh
know
yeah, listen, please
love to hear your
write us
feedback.
at coach@peopleproductive.com. Let us know
Yes.
what you experienced, how it worked out. We'll share it on the episode.
Yes.
And we love it because that's really so important. I'd say another thing, Tara, is we're talking about raising people's self-esteem, but sometimes you've got to be aware of the fact people may be suffering from a little low self-esteem, because you don't know what's
Right.
happening, and you should be on the lookout for that. Maybe they're afraid to make a decision or a commitment. Maybe they're a little oversensitive to criticism. Maybe they're resistant to change because they think it's going to lower them or devalue them. There are a lot of symptoms and signals you can get when people are struggling with low self-esteem. They may be overly sensitive to everything around them. Um, Maybe they just afraid to admit they don't know because it's going to lower their esteem further. And people with high esteem, no problem saying, I just don't know that, but I'd love to learn more about it. So you could start to look for these signs. It's not just insecurity in many cases. It can be very low self-esteem. And you can help then to put a little extra time and energy into maybe raise and boost their self-esteem a little bit. Go out of
Yeah.
your way, be a good boss or a good coworker. Be on the lookout for people who need help like this.
Right. Even in just letting people know that they're good at something, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but when people feel like they're competent at something, and you recognize it, it
Yeah,
really does boost their esteem, because now, they're feeling like, okay, I'm doing a good job. I think I'm doing a good job, but that validation matters so much. It just adds the cherry on top, because now people understand, okay, I think I'm doing a good job. And now I've been validated as, yes, I am doing a good job.
yeah,
And that truly boosts your confidence. It makes you feel secure in what you know, and when you recognize that people are good at something, say something. Don't
yeah.
just hold it back. Really take the time to let people know when they're doing a great job, when they're really good at something. Whenever you discover another one of their strengths, help them celebrate that strength. Let them know that they have this strength, that you value the strength that they have, and that their strength is making a difference on the team. You would just be surprised at how some of these tiny things that seem like they don't matter at all, but just taking the time
It'd be
to
huge.
talk to that person, know them as an individual, share their strengths with them, let them know that you value them. It's huge. It really does make a huge impact.
It does help them discover their strengths. They may not know they have a strength in that area. If you can help them uncover certain strengths, they're going to really start to feel better about themselves because
Mhm.
esteem is part of people learning and understanding who they are. Another thing you want to do is don't destroy their self-esteem. Don't throw them in a sink or swim situation, which could really damage your self-esteem. Make sure they're being put on assignments where they're not over their head, right?
Yeah.
You want them to grow and you want the self-esteem to grow as part of the work you're giving them. So once again, knowing the people, knowing who they are, listening, saying, hey, do you think you could handle this? And, maybe they'll take on a challenge. And by merely coming out publicly saying, yeah, I'll do it, I'll figure it out, that's going to raise the level of motivation to do it. They're going to overcome a big challenge. They're going to get a lot of self-esteem out of it. And that's a great way to add to their level of self-esteem without a doubt. But don't sink them.
Yeah. Don't set people up to fail. Don't put them in a bad situation where it's just a failure from the start. Give people the tools and the resources they need to be successful. You don't want people in a situation where they feel like it's a lose-lose. And that will for sure sink their self-esteem. People will feel like they're a failure, and you don't want that. You don't want people feeling like they can't do anything to be successful in that particular situation. You want to set them up where they feel like I've been given the best possible chance to succeed.
Yeah, it's hugely important. I mean, I think most importantly, you want to take away from this that you should start thinking about what level of self-esteem do the people who work for me have. Be
Mhm.
conscious of this. Think about it. Try to evaluate. Take your team, write down what level of self-esteem you think they have. Start to observe. Become an expert at the people who work for you. And for the people who need a little boost and they need their self-esteem raised, you can spend some time doing that. You can point things out in meetings. There's lots you could do. Whatever you do, don't damage it. Don't reduce their level of self-esteem if they're already struggling with self-esteem. Maybe there's strengths they have, they need to move over and do something else. You really got to think about it, but get to know your people. We talk about that in every episode when we talked about non-monetary rewards. A lot of things you could do that come down to knowing the person so you can craft something specifically for them. That's true of esteem too. Know the people who work for you, get to know them, understand them, craft what you do around who they are and what they want to become, and you're going to do well here.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, so this was episode 7. Tara and I have to get together to pick what our next series of topics is going to be on, and we did not do that. Maybe we could have spent the time that I used up recording an episode without the record on, Terry.
Yes.
We might have used that time effectively, right? And known what we're going to talk about next. But no, uh,
Yes. It'll be a great surprise for our viewers.
yeah,
How about that?
yeah, really funny. I mean, it's just so crazy. But listen, really thank you for joining us. We're here every Wednesday, 3 o'clock Eastern. We have a show, it's on live. It's streamed on LinkedIn. So please join us. Subscribe to People Productive channel on YouTube. Subscribe to it on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. You can find us everywhere. It's
Yes.
amazing.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. If you want to learn more, go to peopleproductive.com. You want to talk to us, send a message to coach@peopleproductive.com. We love chatting. Take advantage of it. We're here. We're a resource. We want to help people. That's why we do these shows. This is a PhD in the human side of business. You can look at all the series we've done, series on belonging. We've done series on, people unproductive.
Mhm.
A whole series on unproductive personality types. We've covered tons of experiments and what those experiments mean, what you could take away from them, what you could learn about the human side of business. It's the science of the human factors. And so much. I mean, it's an incredible wealth of information. I think you should dig in.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're here every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Hope you've enjoyed the series. And we look forward to seeing you at the next episode.
Yes. Bye for now.
Bye for now.